I am one with the earth that keeps turning, one with the stars that shine, one with the waves that are ocean, one with the light that I see in your eyes. I am one with the earth that keeps turning, one with the stars that shine, one with the waves that are ocean, one with the light that I see in your eyes. I am one with the earth that keeps turning, one with the stars that shine, one with the waves that are ocean, one with the light that I see in your eyes. I am the waves, I am the ocean, I am stillness in motion. I am the waves, I am the ocean, I am stillness in motion.
You know, I was very athletic as a kid. So basically, you know, when first of all, I noticed, you know, when I was singing, when I just let myself be in the song, my pain disappeared. You know, I was like, before you know it, I was like moving and dancing. I was like, yes, I'm just like in the music. And it wasn't until like one of my friends turned to me, he's like, wow, like 10 minutes ago you were like in pain, but now you're dancing and singing. Like, what changed? You know, and just having that reflection, you know, I was like, wow, what changed? You know, and I immediately knew that the contents of my mind, you know, the story that I was playing inside my mind of how I saw myself, how I saw the world, my body was actually reflecting it. And so I went deeper into, you know, I started doing yoga to understand a little bit more, like, okay, well, what's going on with my body? And through going to yoga, I discovered chanting, you know, and I was like, wow, you know, when I allow myself to really immerse myself in the power of mantra and the power of these heart songs, you know, again, I was just like totally pain-free again. It was just this dissolvement, and I knew, it was like, wow, this is what I want to sing. This is what I want. This is how I want to feel in life. This is what I want for everybody to experience, that how quick and easy it is to come into our fullness. And through my years of studying yoga and the methodology, the science behind yoga, I understand that it's been this incredible process of undoing and returning.
You got to accentuate the positive. Wow, I feel good. A little bit of feel good goes a long way.
You're listening to Karen Swain, teacher of deliberate creation, accentuating the positive, showing you a way to a better life.
Accentuating the positive, it's not just fad, it's sanity. Who in their right mind would accentuate anything else?
If you feel like that's what you want to do. Hello and welcome to another show, Accentuating the Positive with Karen Swain. As always, wonderful to be with you again. And if you're enjoying the shows, please remember to subscribe and like and share the shows with your friends. And check out my website where I have everything that you need to know about the people I have on the shows. I have the two most gorgeous people in the world on the show today, Lulu and Mischka, up in the Northern Rhythms. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you, Karen.
Hello, great to be here.
So great to see your smiley face again, and an honor to be part of this beautiful platform.
Oh, look where they are. For people on audio, you can't see, but you can go and see if you go and check out the YouTube video. But they're up there in the beautiful northern rivers in a place called the Pocket, and it's just the most sublime place on earth. Honestly, I just love it up there. It's heaven up there.
It is indeed.
I'm going to read out your bio and then we're going to get a bit into your story, because I met you about 8 years ago in Sydney. You were city dwellers and then you did the sea change, the tree change. I'd love to hear more about it. Let me tell you a little bit about Lulu and Mischka. Lulu and Mischka are musicians and inner peace facilitators who draw upon the ancient earth wisdoms from East and West, guiding people to unite in sound and silence. A deep immersion into the union of souls through music. They create pure and joyful space for deep connection within. Based in the Byron Bay area, Australia, life's calling led them on their mission to support the awakening of humanity. The married couple offer a chance to join their radiant journeys into the powerful practice of chanting. Their offerings see them travel throughout the globe, doing concerts, workshops, and retreats, as well as receiving inspirations and teachings. They travel the world, gathering traditional prayer to share in a unique way. Ancient mantras from India meet heart-opening English lyrics. Medicine prayers from North and South America wash through every cell and activate inner wisdom. The past 6 years has seen them tour throughout Europe, Asia, and Australia, holding chanting concerts and performing at festivals, retreats, yoga teacher trainings, and health resorts. They believe that coming together in this magical energy of joyful heart song brings us closer to each other, further away from separation and deeper into truth, leaving you with peace of mind and filled with joy. Currently, they have 4 albums available: Stillness in Motion, which came out in 2012, Hearts Wide Open, 2015, Enchanted, which came out in 2017, and the new one, Horizon, which has just come out. You can check out their music and their work at luluandmischka.com. So, wow, obviously you do travel every year to Europe and Asia and all around the place, but this year, not so much, right?
Yeah, well, that bio, that summary about us reminded us of the good old times.
Not so much, but you've still kept busy doing a lot of online stuff and teaching and doing mantra. And let me ask you, okay, how did this all start and when did you guys meet? How did you meet?
Beautiful. Well, we both were into the music that we're doing right now. Before we met, I grew up in Germany and grew up with music, and after high school, etc., had my globe trotting happening. Yeah, feeling really inspired to meet other cultures and traditions, because I had been a little bit in touch with, especially through music, but also through spirituality, that I found a bit through my family, but also through friends. So really feeling inspired there and gathering a lot of insight and inspiration of an alternative way to life rather than the standard program way of that I've been shown. Nothing really wrong with that way, but yeah, that was just the only option. And but I could feel there's something different. My soul, my heart was yearning for something different. So I feel fortunate that I followed that and had support to follow that and move out and South America trips and work and quite some time in Asia and eventually also Australia. And that's a very quick fast forward, but along the way happened a lot. But in Australia, then it's classic story of a young European backpacker meeting an Aussie woman. Classic story on the outside, but yeah, the meeting was powerful actually in sound in itself. Yeah, you want to share? Rosie?
Sure. Yeah, we heard each other singing before we saw each other. So you could say it was love at first sound. Like absolutely mind-blowing, this experience of, we were at an alternative gathering of like-minded people and singing in a cave on a full moon night. That's what you do, right? When you're a free-flowing backpacker. And it was in this, in this cave, you couldn't really see anybody because it was lit by a few candles, and the guitar went around, and it was super beautiful. And I sang a few songs, and the guitar went to Mischka, and of course I couldn't see him, but I could hear him and I could feel him. It was like when he started singing, it was like a full body remembrance. I was like, wow, I could just feel the beauty and essence of his soul, and I just knew that I needed to be connected to this man. And then sure enough, the next day we got to meet. I was like, phew, he's good looking. And we've been connected ever since. It has been a journey, but we met and we stayed connected. He went to Vipassana, and I had just got back from India and had for 6 months and started work again, so we were connected. But
Lulu was in the city in Sydney, and it wasn't the most attractive place for me to spend my Australia time in the city, but ultimately the curiosity and the
love wins.
Love wins.
You really can be anywhere
when you're in love. You can be anywhere. Home is where the heart is, right? So Mischka, was your upbringing kind of conservative, or was it pretty free flowing, sort of alternative? Or
it wasn't. There was touches of alternative in there. My parents both being GPs, medical doctors,
right?
But also with interest in naturopathy, alternative therapies.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always been an understanding, openness to other ways than mainstream ways.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of at the same time, they were academics, and in my mind, I didn't have other role models that didn't go an academic path, really. They went their own path, and so for most of my upbringing, I thought that's the way to go.
That's the way to go. I think that when people outside of maybe Europe and outside in Australia or the States, I think of Germany as quite conservative and strict and regimented. I think that's probably propaganda from our movie industry, always showing Germans as German soldiers and stuff like that. When I was a young girl traveling the trains in Portugal, hustling people to come and stay at a hotel I was working for, whenever we'd meet the Germans, they'd say, "No, we sleep on the beach." They used to come down from Germany and just sleep on the beach. And they were like kind of wild and free, as I remember, which was, classic. So, it's interesting, the sort of stereotype we think of Germany. I think of many of them as like kind of hippie, wild, free people, not that sort of image that we've been given as this regimented race of people. Yeah, so...
Yeah, we've got everything, I guess there's a solid quantity of conservativeness there, and then there's always in the world, wherever is one extreme, there's the balance with the other side too. Yep.
So when you go back to Germany, when you can travel, do you find a lot of people are loving what you guys are doing?
Yeah, it's for our music, I'd say it's after the States, it's the second biggest scene in the world. In Germany, people are hungry for this, really hungry, compared to Australia. They don't have the sunshine 300 days a year and the beaches right next to them and the beauty and vastness of nature. The people are craving cultural connection and intimacy. Again, not everybody, in that way, but it is big, and it's a big population So yeah, we love
the younger generation and sort of moving away from the more conservative ideals and coming more into the free, let's chant, let's love each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of activism and movement in all different directions, political as well as spiritually. People feeling that there is a different way possible, just as I was feeling that there is that, yeah, there must be an alternative to what we're presented. And yeah,
I think there's a real hunger for people cultivating their own spiritual sovereignty, and that's what we're very passionate about. We don't, the music that we share, we sing about different traditions. We're connecting to the pure essence, the love consciousness. It's not connected to any particular dogma or practice or guru. Like, we're not interested in that. We're interested in about going inside and letting this inner heart, the whispers of your heart, be the guide to guide you, to support you on your way, your journey. And in that, being in community, of like-minded people to cheer each other on, that there is, that this is actually very healthy and normal, and what we offer is not necessarily on mainstream radio or TV yet. But
mind you, I had you on radio. God, how many years ago is that? Like 8 years ago.
Right.
Well, when I was on radio, you guys came on and sang live. It was beautiful, actually. I've still got that. I've still got that up on my website. It was absolutely beautiful. It sounded amazing. It was just in the moment, me shoving mics in your face and running the panel, and you guys singing. It was amazing. So yeah, there you go. You've been on mainstream radio.
Yeah, we have.
You have.
So yeah, people are feeling more empowered to look within than look outside for guidance. So.
When I met you guys, my good friend Paul Fitzgerald took me to your house. You were living in this communal house in Bondi.
Yeah.
I had been living up on the Northern Beaches for 9 years. I came back, and life brought me back into the city, kicking and screaming. I didn't want to come back into the city, but life brought me back here. And he's like, oh, do you want to come to kirtan with me? And I said, what's kirtan? He goes, chanting. I said, oh, no, I hate that stuff. Because when I had been in the city before, when I had gone to kirtan, it was really drone-like. It was just one mantra and the organ, and just kind of not melodic at all, just sort of practice of chanting, sort of regimented for a reason to sort of connect to God. I don't know. I didn't like it. I found it boring. He goes, no, it's really changed since you've been out of the city. It's really changed. And I said, okay, I'll go. And it was you guys. And I was blown away. I was blown away at what you were doing. I was just absolutely blown away. I was on radio at the time, and I said to you afterwards, have you got some music I can play on radio? And the two of you looked at each other like, no, we haven't recorded anything. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yes.
I do. And I said, well, get recording, kids, because I'm going to play it on radio.
Thank you for that little motivation push.
Yeah, push. Yeah. I do that. I push people out. But, I'm saying this story because there are people out there that maybe are loving playing some music or loving doing what they do. And who knows, like when you get a bit organized and share it with people, because a lot of people don't share either their channeling work or their music or their poetry or their songs or their life story. When you share it, it's amazing how people receive it. So even then, you were having so many people come to your weekly chanting things, and then what happened after that?
It's been such a great journey, like when we decided to come together, our biggest prayer was only do what we love. And the thing that brought us together was chanting music. And so we're like, great, let's do it every week, every Wednesday. And we did this for like a year and a half.
We put up, back in the days, and we printed out little posters and put them into cafes, I don't know if we had anything going on Facebook, by donation, really grassroots. Some weeks no one turned up, some people fired, but it grew over time. But we didn't care. We were just committed to that.
And then from there we got invited to partake in yoga teacher trainings and classes and retreats. We got invited to festivals, we got invited to radio,
and people like yourself and others had that reflection of like, do you have recorded music? How can I listen to this? And yeah.
And then I guess when we got to 2 years of being in Sydney, Mischka just turned to me and said, "Lulu, it's time to leave the city.
I love you, but let's get out of here.
But let's get the heck out of here." And I was like, "What?" I had all my teachers there and my, a lot of things that I was attached to. And, that was the push, like, great, let's do an album. And we decided we wanted to get married, and we were like, let's record an album. And, our commitment to our marriage, our love, is to also bridge our homes, bridge Australia and Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So our motivation was to record our first album, and like each year go to Europe every year and be with family, and in that also share what we love. So we put ourselves into festivals and just put our name out there and gave our music out, and it's been such an epic organic growth.
It has.
Yeah.
It has. I've watched you over the years, and it's amazing. It's wonderful to see. Yeah, how the seed of an idea can just blossom and grow, and how people are receiving it too. And as you say, like bringing people together in that intention of connection and love and mantra, and just celebrating the divine within through song and
silence. Yeah.
Song and silence. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just such incredible medicine. Like, we do it because it fills our hearts and minds up. It gives us so much insight and inspiration. It gives us so much peace and joy and intimacy and we just wish that for others, and people are experiencing the same thing, so it's just the best job on the planet, really. We're just doing what we love.
Well, it is. And I think you really know that you've having an impact when, like, I've been to quite a few gatherings here in Sydney, and other musicians are singing your songs. Yeah, and that is really cool when, like, your songs become that inspiration for other musicians to sing, like we're singing Lulu and Mischka's songs. I think that was so beautiful. So I see that a lot, and the expansion of your work, it's been amazing. Right. So how long have you been out of the city? You said, when did you move out of the city?
We left 2013, the eastern suburbs, and we went traveling, and we had a small time in the northern beaches.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
2014, 15 or so, for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then we were in Central Coast and Hunter Valley. So outside, from 2000. Yeah, there was always travels in that time. Also, we spent a lot of time overseas. We went to Europe. We went to South America together. We went to India a couple of times.
Throughout Europe.
Yeah. But for us, we feel we left kind of our main city time in 2013. Even when we were in the northern beaches, we were kind of tucked away. And
every now and then we'd put our foot in. We were working also at health resorts at Alicia Health and Wellness Resort on and off for 4 years while we were in Australia. And that was beautiful.
Where's Alicia?
Alicia's in the Hunter Valley.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also referred to as the Golden Door.
Oh, okay, right, okay. You were working there, were you? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you found yourself in the Northern Rivers. How'd you find yourself up there?
Well, it found us, actually. We have a beautiful friend who lives up here and just bought a new property, and we've been good friends, and we have similar lifestyles of traveling with our music and returning back to Australia. And he gave us a call and was like, "What are you guys doing?" We're like, "Oh, we're homeless." He's just like,
"We're in Europe.
We're in Europe, and we're going to be back in next month and not sure where we're going to live." He's like, "Oh, do you want to live with me?" And I think we took a breath, and then we said yes.
It was at a time where we had tried different places, and every place like 6 months, and then something happened the house would get sold where we rented, or different things happened, and we was like, okay, this is enough. We're obviously, let's just not plan where we go next and just stay open. And then this turned up, and yeah, it was the best thing. And we'd come here before and know the region, have many friends here, and know what a beautiful conscious hub the whole region is. So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
The wisdom of uncertainty, aligning your energy inside the unknown and letting the universe handle the details and bring you what you need. It's just, you've done exactly that, right? It's like what I teach through deliberate creation. Your life is unfolded exactly like that. Just doing what you love, not knowing from 1 minute to the next where it's going to lead you, but staying in that vibe, just staying loving, staying connected, staying in that vibe of love. And how beautiful that it took you to this magnificent place during this time of COVID, where you could just like bunker down, settle in, just be in this magnificent environment while the world stopped you from gathering and traveling.
Yeah, it's actually been paradise, really.
There's
on many levels. Physically stopping has been, you don't realize you need to stop until the world stops you.
Right.
Although,
and
saying that, end of last year already, we were consciously talking about like taking things or slowing down on the travels.
Okay.
So we were energetically not maybe preparing for as much slowing down as we've been forced to, but like, there has been recognition of like, okay, there has been a lot of travel. So but yeah, it's been beautiful place to be in this time of uncertainty once again, and the community is strong here, and this is what I guess it's been challenging for everyone, and as well for us in some ways. But beautiful, many like-minded, really visionary people here that give us, and a lot of inspiration and hope again and again in these times of uncertainty. More really with the vision of transformation for all of us.
Definitely. And also with being, with touring over the last 6 years, our community that we've connected with has grown and grown. And so we have a global audience. And in this, it's like, wow, how can we still be of service and not without, we can't physically be there. So it's been a very immediate, instinctual, great. If you can't go out, you have to go within. Mm-hmm. And so this has taken us to offering some online courses, mantra meditations, and it's been incredibly well received. And just the soma, the nectar of peace that people a lot have really needed in these times. So we feel very happy that we can still be of service through these internet waves.
Through the internet waves.
Yeah,
absolutely. Lulu, tell me more about your journey. How did you awaken to knowing that you were here to make a difference?
Beautiful question. Well, I guess when you say the word awaken, I guess I could say that I was asleep. I grew up, my parents were publicans. I grew up in a pub in far north Queensland in Australia, and so my bedroom was directly above the front bar speaker. So I fell asleep to rock and roll and all sorts of music. So music's always been in my life in that way. I guess you could say my awakening happened when I was searching everywhere for the meaning of life. I traveled as soon as I finished high school. I traveled the world for 3 years on my own, and I noticed just every country that I went to, everyone had the same basic ways of basic needs, and and the different traditions that brought people a sense of connection. my awakening through my journey, I actually have suffered from chronic sciatica, chronic back pain from a really early age when I was like 17. So I was on a lot of pharmaceutical drugs for like 5 years or so, cortisone injections, you name it.
Wow.
And I guess when you're physically stopped, you know, the internal mind can get quite loud. And I remember one time being in such pain on the couch, and I remember like when I find out the answer to, you know, to freedom, to being back, you know, back into my full vitality, you know, I'm going to share this with the world, you know. And you know, I was very athletic as a kid. So basically, you know, when first of all, I noticed, you know, when I was singing, when I just let myself be in the song, my pain disappeared. You know, I was like, before you know it, I was like moving and dancing. I was like, yes, I'm just like in the music. And it wasn't until like one of my friends turned to me, he's like, wow, like 10 minutes ago you were like in pain, but now you're dancing and singing. Like, what changed? You know, and just having that reflection, you know, I was like, wow, what changed? You know, and I immediately knew that the contents of my mind, you know, the story that I was playing inside my mind of how I saw myself, how I saw the world, my body was actually reflecting it. And so I went deeper into, you know, I started doing yoga to understand a little bit more like, hey, well, what's going on with my body? And through going to yoga, I discovered chanting, you know, and I was like, wow, you know, when I allow myself to really immerse myself in the power of mantra and the power of these heart songs, you know, again, I was just like totally pain-free again. It was just this dissolvement, and I knew, it was like, wow, this is what I want to sing. This is what I want. This is how I want to feel in life. This is what I want for everybody to experience, that how quick and easy it is to come into our fullness. And through my years of studying yoga and the methodology, the science behind yoga, I understand that it's been this incredible process of undoing and returning to your true essence. You know, it's not achieving or getting somewhere. It's this, it's a releasing, it's a letting go of what I think I am or what I'm attached to. And it's been profound. So that was, I guess you could say, was my awakening. You know, it was when I heard my first, you know, chanting concerts, I was like, you know, and that was through Kevin James Carroll and also Deborah Kamal in Mitten. You know, it was like, wow, there's rooms full of hundreds of people singing together and not clapping at the end of the songs. Like, this is really different, and I can't stop crying, and I feel so good. And, you know, and it was beyond my mind of trying to understand what's going on. And in fact, it didn't matter. All that mattered was just like, I feel so fucking good. And that was it. That's just kind of been the beginning of an epic journey of self-discovery and sharing from a really authentic place of something that has transformed my life.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to over the years that said pain was their wake-up call. Pain. And what stopped that pain was their calling. And some it was meditating and channeling, and some singing, and some writing. But pain was speaking to them. And, you know, just recently on some online groups that I've been, you know, that I run, people have been saying that pain and exhaustion lately. I'm so exhausted. I don't know why I'm so exhausted. I'm in pain. I don't know why I'm in so much pain. And yeah, it's speaking to you. It's speaking to you. It's guidance in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Oh, thank you for sharing that.
Pleasure.
That was beautiful. Yeah. What stops the pain? What about you, Mischka? What was something, that point where you decided you were going to change your life? Like, what was happening for you?
I think it was very very gradual in some ways, but specific moments were actually, it's as a teenager, I saw my father having profound change in his way of emotionally relating and being, through him going to a Buddhist center in town. So there was, I guess, maybe emotional pain that was there before. And he was an amazing father. He's a beautiful man. And still I saw a deep, deep change in his being through bringing in some spiritual practice of meditation into his life.
Right.
And then that a few years down the track, he would use mantras there too, not really sharing much with the family about it. But I remember him being in the bathroom, giving himself a shave and mumbling some mantras, and I would make funny jokes about it, but somewhat curious as a young teenager. And then a bit later, my older brother came back from travels with music, and for me it was then really a recognition there again. I feel like there's something, I didn't have to go too deep there into pain myself, but some recognizing moments of spiritual practices and of song, but song in a way that is not performance like I was doing in that time with my rock band. I was playing drum kit, but being shown song that is really this communal way of coming together, and it's not about me, what I'm singing, how I sound, but really just about the expression and the invitation. The song is invitation for us all together, like an ancestral remembrance of, yes, this is why we're here on earth. Well, this is what we're here to do. All our ancestors have done this. All our tribes, maybe if you're European descendant in some ways, you have to go quite some generations back, but at some point it was there, part of all of our life, music, movement, storytelling.
Bringing people together. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And finding my place in the world. I guess the pain there for me was emotionally finding my place, and like I could see through travels people who found their own ways of interpreting their life and getting off the beaten tracks. And this just brought me in more searching and seeking discovery, and ultimately seeing that I don't have to seek so much on the outside, but really establishing, on the inside.
So it's interesting to hear two stories. Yours is a little more gentler than Lulu, who was experiencing excruciating sciatic pain. I know what that's like. It's bad. Sciatic pain can be really excruciating. So yeah, it's interesting that awakening to your spiritual or life calling can be painful, or it can be gentle. So it's interesting that you've got the two different perspectives coming together as the union.
Like what I think Dr. Joe Dispenza says it in his teachings of awakening to how much we can create our own life and the reconnection to ourselves. He says, like, do you want to do this in a place of suffering? Well, maybe if you are in suffering already, then you don't have the choice. But if you're not, you can do it in a place of joy and freedom. So let's not wait until the suffering starts. But for some of us, that's just the life path. And
exactly. There was a great question in a group I was in the other day. I was talking about the three parts to the creative process: ask, orchestrate, allow. And the asking usually always comes from the contrast, the pain, the trauma. the drama. So when you feel sick, you ask to feel better. When you feel lonely, you ask to feel more connected. When you're feeling poor, you ask for more money. So the asking is usually birthed from the drama, right? In a third dimensional reality. But as we move into a more enlightened consciousness here on, the asking can be birthed from the joy. The asking doesn't need to be birthed from the drama. It can be like, wow, this feels good. I want more of this. And that's more of a fifth dimensional way of creating your reality, is to ask from the joy rather than demanding, or rather than waiting for the pain or the trauma to like evoke the questions within you. Like, yeah.
And for some of us, it's enough to see the drama in the outside, in the bigger world reflected, or in our family reflected, or yeah.
Exactly. There's plenty of drama. What does Esther Hicks say? Life is determined to show you every aspect of despair. But I think that what you're bringing to people is you're bringing a lifestyle and a way of living that people can meet and commune with and explore and experience, and they go, wow, this feels good. I want more of this. So, yeah.
Life's too short not to.
Yeah. Life's too short not to enjoy yourself. Absolutely. So what do your parents think of what you do and what you're doing with your life?
My parents?
Yeah, we'll start with Lulu. Both of you. We'll start with Lulu. What do your parents think?
Sure. My parents, I mean, we've been singing mantras and heart songs since we met, so 10 years now. And always my parents are like, I don't get it what you do, but you guys are just so happy. Great. So that's always been the way. They've never been engaging in terms of like wanting to partake in anything that we offer. It was just it's too much. They've always observed from the outside, like watching through social media, and say that they're proud of us and proud of me, and that feels really beautiful. But at the same time, it's weird because I know they don't really get it what we do, because you really have to be in the experience of an event or of an offering to really drop into getting it. There's a very difference from observing it to actually being immersed in it. So yeah, it's been a huge journey. I mean, what we have to offer, it pushes a lot of my parents' buttons, particularly my mother. I love my parents so much. A huge teaching that I receive from my parents is like unconditional love. Like they don't understand what I do, and I don't understand why they do what they do, but I love them anyway. And
but why does it push your mum's buttons?
It pushes my mum's buttons. She grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, so she was the black sheep in the family, and so as soon as she was 16, she was like out of there. And her mother, my grandmother, is she's still around. She's 92 now, and
wow.
And so there's been a lot of trauma in my mum's life growing up. Sexual abuse and the black sheep, and not being heard or seen. So what we have to offer, we're singing devotional songs, we're singing different traditions, but we're not connecting to any God. We're connecting to the consciousness, the love consciousness. So any kind of that's too much for her.
So she sees it kind of related to religion, and devotion is related to her horrific upbringing, her trauma.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anything that feels somewhat close to religion,
yeah, traumatizes her.
Was easier for her to push away out of her life.
Yeah.
Right.
She enjoys listening us singing.
They both love hearing their daughter's beautiful voice and singing, very proud. It's beautiful. Yeah.
So yeah, it's huge. They've never been to any of our events, and we're pretty excited that they're gonna. I said to her one day, I was like, I was like, Mum, Dad, you have to just come to one of our concerts, would you? Like, you say you're really proud of us, just come.
Well, they've been far away. They were up
away.
in far north Queensland where we haven't played, but
Right.
But Mum's like, yeah, you're right. I want to see my daughter sing, and so she's joined to come to our retreat in December.
Cool.
Weekend, and that's going to be massive for her.
That will be massive.
Massive for me as well, you know. And so she I'm open to her possibly singing. She doesn't sing in general, but just to be seen in our passion and our glory, and for her, you know, for her to receive the group, you know, there'll be like 50 of us singing, you know, to her, for to be able to feel the energy of coming together and connecting to the spirit of the heart. I think it's going to be really powerful.
Massive healing for her. How old is she?
She's 61.
Right, so she's young. It'll be a massive healing for her, because obviously she's holding a lot of rage and anger at religion or at God because of what she went through, and yeah, and she doesn't understand that we can still celebrate our divinity without it being connected to a religion per se, to a particular religion. Yeah.
Definitely, and that's what we're here, you know, to stand forth in our spiritual sovereignty, and that I really feel that we're in this time now that, you know, these traditions were there for a reason, you know, to connect to that pure source, you know, unconditional love, and through the thousands of years of the crazy humanity, the dogma that has been created is just warped what the true essence is. So, you know, through this music, you know, we're going beyond any dogma. We're not interested in bowing our head down to any physical being. We're bowing down to the consciousness that's in the beat of every person's heart. And so, you know, it's not something that you can talk about. You have to feel it.
You have to feel it. Wow. So that's going to be exciting this December. So where are you doing the workshop? You're doing it in Mullum, around Mullum?
It's a retreat in Mullum.
Just outside of Mullum. Yeah, weekend, a whole weekend together.
It's full. We've got a waiting list.
It's full. You've got a waiting list. I know you guys are so popular, but people can see on your website all your upcoming events. And what about you, Mischka? Did your parents embrace what you were doing with the music, or they sound like they're pretty with it people?
Yeah,
meditators.
My mom is number one fan.
Number one. Go mom.
Best mother-in-law I could have.
Go mom.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, she has this, let's say, like an esoteric Christian life approach, let's say. Yeah, I mean, not too much in the not at all Catholic Protestant background, but more in her own free flow with it all, but connection, and she gets it. I got the love for music from her. I can remember from as long as I can remember, Monday nights she'd go to a church choir singing, and so there was a lot of singing always in my family side anyways. And my father being connected to spirituality in his own way, and had his faith in Buddhism and meditation, and he I guess like it's a bit more through the thirst of my mom that he also comes. But we play in my hometown when we get to Germany, and they love coming. And my mom has been over here and it's been part of retreats, and so it's
beautiful
to share that. And I'm looking forward, remembering my mom coming to our retreat and being just showered in love and appreciation by the other participants. You know, found out that she's gifted me life, and the ripple that has had. And so I'm looking forward to that same effect for Lulu's parents at the upcoming retreat.
Well, absolutely. I can't wait to hear. Ooh, it's going to be so exciting to hear how that all goes. That's going to be exciting.
I'll write a book about it. It's going to be huge.
You might have to write a book about it. Absolutely. Healing healing the ancestral wounds. I think that as healers, it's a lot of what we're doing at the moment, healing ancestral wounds, and a lot of that have come through culture and religion. And yeah, well, your parents must be so proud of you both. That's all I can say.
We're very grateful.
So let's talk about your albums. Do you want to talk about all of them or just the latest one?
Just the latest one.
Just the latest one?
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about each of them. So the latest one is good. We can flow a bit. Maybe if I start just before that, the previous one had been a live. Really want to capture the energy of life being together. So we were all, the actual recording was just in one day.
Album.
The Enchanted 2017 release. One day, all together in the studio with the band and the choir, and really bringing this vibe that we create live. And sure, there were rehearsals and a lot of planning and all of that. But I think we're very happy with how that turned out, because it's a big energy to record in that, and with so many people in one room, one place. But we love that, and it has that pro of really this merging of us, this live dynamic, and that's been very beautiful and really well received. And then over the years there was the hunger to make use of the beautiful technology of a studio recording, which now has taken us up to, just from the first day in the studio to releasing in September, has taken us 9 months or even a little bit more. And so going and recording bits and re-recording bits and layering this approach. So that's been fantastic, with an amazing co-producer here in the Shire, Avishai Barnatan, beautiful sound engineer and sound wizard, working a lot with sound showers himself. Very, very clean, beautiful understanding of sound. And we've in this approach could also then invite other wonderful musicians who were in the area or through the internet.
So we had beautiful Manos from Devrupa Male Mitten on Bansuri for a few tracks. We also had Tina, beautiful dear friend Tina Malia.
Oh, you had Tina on as well.
Yeah.
So this is all on Horizon, or is this on Enchanted?
Horizon now, yeah.
So on Horizon, which is the latest one that's just come out, you've invited a whole lot of guest singers to come and collaborate with you. Wow.
Yeah, really, in our hearts, profound medicine song carriers, heart song carriers. So Tina Malia, and then as well as local Murray Kyle as well, who's
Murray's on the album too. Beautiful.
So it was really beautiful to have some sweet collaborations there to support the carrying of these prayers.
Yes, yeah. So, plus many instruments, different instruments. Every song has a very different, beautiful feel to it.
A combination of mantra and English, and this is
Spanish,
Portuguese.
Because Tina Malia is Portuguese. Is she the Portuguese one?
No, she's American. But,
she's American.
She sings in many languages also.
Right. So what's the message of the album? What are you saying to people through song and mantra and music?
For us, once again, it comes back to this has a different songs, different frequencies, a journey. For us, each album is a chapter of our own life. This is usually what comes forward, rather than let's write an album for something. It's okay, these songs have been with us now for quite some time, and let's bring them together. And there's always a certain alchemy when the songs come together. But for me, it's Horizon also, it's a message for hope. Again, it's coming to the heart, coming inside. There's acts of celebration, but a lot of softness and gentleness, playing with or bring in elements like the earth, the water, different prayers for the water, really a understanding of our connectedness with the elements of the world on the outside, but also on the inside, and our intimate relation with them, bringing that back into our lives, and bringing joy and hope into people's hearts.
Yeah, definitely. And when you really connect to that inner wisdom, that inner joy of your heart, and using song, but also we sing a lot about nature and connecting to nature as like as a living being, and our prayer, is as we start cultivating that, we see that we are nature, that we are not separate from it. And in that cultivating of that deepening of that connection, that deepening of the listening of the elements of the seasons, then we naturally start to align our lives in a more of a harmonious and healthy way, understanding why we eat organic, that actually it has a huge effect not only on our health but on the planet. Why we choose to sleep more with the rhythms of the day, why we actually want to be more active. How can we use our gifts and our talents to give back in these times, being inspired to get our hands dirty, to get into the earth, to live up here in the northern rivers and not in a unit in the middle of the city. As we start to deepen into these sonic prayers, we're actually changing our inner song, our inner frequency, and aligning our outer world with that as well. So it's as we're singing our song for life. Yeah, it's not just an experience. It's we're inviting an opportunity to embody a rich, healthy life of peace and natural rhythms of life through these songs, which is our natural state.
Look, absolutely. I can't tell you how important that is. I've been showcasing new old teachers now for about 20, 25 years. And what I'm hearing a lot lately is, I had the beautiful Courtney Beck on the show, who was in the corporate world. She's like 39, I think now. And a couple of years ago, she woke up when she started meditating. She had a Kundalini awakening, and now she's channeling. She's got 4 or 5 books out. And just reading the books, channeling Krishna and Isis and all these amazing ascended masters. The message that's coming through the shows and the channelers and from the masters is that we're at this precipice time, that if we don't get back into relationship with the earth and the elements, then we're out of here. And it's still not decided whether we're not out of here or not. Mm-hmm. It's still not, like a lot of people say, oh no, we've passed the precipice where the Mother Gaia's got to wipe us off the earth because we've just, ravaged her, just ruined her. But I don't think that decision has been made yet. So, yeah.
And even in saying that, as you say that, there can, when you hear this information, you can also smell a little sense of fear, like we have to do it. But this, I feel like, it has to come from an impulse because you want to, and you love Earth, and it feels so good. And if it does hit the red button and we're kaput, if we're in that deep trust, then we're just returning to that pure love consciousness.
Absolutely.
Nothing to be fearful of.
Nothing to be fearful of, yeah.
It's let this change of our world for the greater start within, and be excited to get your hands dirty.
Well, absolutely. And I think it's, up to people like you and me and others that are into this to educate people on how and exactly how to be in communion and back in relationship with the elements.
Exactly.
And with Mother herself and with nature, and it can be just like you say. It's like a joyous journey. It's not a journey of have tos, but want tos. Yeah. And that the struggle to survive and make money and pay the mortgage is not as important as being in communion and relationship with the elements of the earth. Yeah,
definitely. And and that's definitely a dance that has come through our life, from looking from the outside. And we always return back to our values. Number one is our love, number two is our health, number three, always do what we love and let that and teach it and share it. Having a deep trust in that life will provide, and all of it is, and it has, and more.
So what's some of the concerns that you're hearing from your community, overseas and in Australia? Are people reaching out to you with concern that you're sort of addressing for them through your workshops?
I mean, for most people, it's the number one thing that's directly coming to us from our community is mental concerns, mental states, mental health. The mind is just getting, everyone's mind is getting hammered, especially the more we are involved in mainstream news. This is just so intense at the moment. And yeah, even myself, I think I've got a pretty good mental health and clarity. If I spend too much time there looking at news and so on, I can feel my whole energetic being, my mind going crazy and strong. So they are tools for clarity of the mind, for returning to self and returning to knowing what's actually true in this moment for myself and the reality there. And yeah, our music has been for ourselves even before what's going on now. Always one thing has been how incredible the effects are on the mind of just coming to the presence, letting the chatter calm down, the mind chatter, and returning to what's true when it reveals itself underneath the chatter of the mind. So that's why we say the coming together in sound and silence, because the silence for us is not the goal, but it's just as important. Coming to the silence and establishing a friendship with that, and knowing, there's my true essence, my true being in this silence. And from there, then from this place, it's where what we were talking about before, not I have to do something, but I want to. From that silence, it's like, this is where my essence comes through, and this is what I want to bring into the world. Yeah. So one concern, or the biggest one, is that we're feeling from people is the mind space. It's
the mind space, and being able to another big concern is also returning to the sacred as well. So many living in the city and have lost that connection with the sacred. And through the music, we sing into the silence, returning to our spiritual sovereignty, the sacred. And the other concern from that is that when we connect into that, as Mischka was saying, that silence, then we can come from living from a place of insight, of inspiration and intuition, and deepening our friendship and trust with this way of life. And I guess the other little concern of that is like, okay, how do I express that? Like, I'm receiving this. So we give people an opportunity to come together, and through our retreats and our workshops, we provide a platform for them to feel, to trust their voice, to trust that connection that they've established, and feeling motivated and excited and empowered to share it. That's what we're here for. We're creatures of creation. We're here to share, and that's definitely a reflection, of our life. And so we're just sharing from experience. We're not masters. We're just everyday people who love each other and see the beauty in everybody that we meet, and just cheering each other on.
Trying to do your best.
Darling, I think you're masters. No, just living in the moment and living in the wisdom, like we talked about before, I think that the worry that people are going through, like you talked about, the mental health, is that worry of like, what's going to happen? It's that, it's the uncertainty instead of embracing uncertainty. Because certainty, it constricts and it's limited. It's like when you're certain of what's going to happen, you're limited to that idea. But when you throw open the doors to uncertainty and you embrace it as something magical and beauty, even when the world goes crazy, right? Like we are doing this recording on the day that the American elections are happening. Which is a pretty auspicious day. We didn't plan it that way. It just kind of happened. I don't know. It just happened. And so there's a lot of uncertainty for people in America or people around the world.
Yep.
You know, everyone's got their idea about who's right and who's wrong, and they've all got valid points. And there's just so much uncertainty. And just living in the moment, embracing what you love to do and embracing love and joy and living in the beauty and the wisdom of uncertainty.
Yeah.
That's mastery. That is what I call mastery, really.
Yeah, beautiful. And yeah, I wish everyone for that, you know. I can see the uncertainty and the wanting to know. This fear is actually, you know, I've seen it in myself. It can become an addiction. Like, oh, I'm addicted to the not knowing, and I've got to do all that I can to find out so that I know. And really, whatever you research, whatever your belief is and what you research, you'll find something to back it up, you know. So I really believe in my heart, like being more interested in like, okay, how can I be in my fullness regardless of what's going on, and how can, you know, and whatever's going on from that place, how can I just make a decision and continue with that choice and not thinking about, oh, I should have, I could have, or no, I'll change, or that might happen, or that could happen. It's just like, no, just, you know, what can I do to stay in my fullness, to make a decision from that, and then keep living from that place of presence. Because the uncertainty, you're addicted to that uncertainty is just it's always gonna be there.
Yeah.
Uncertainty.
Addicted to uncertainty, yeah.
To certainty.
Well, you want to be addicted to certainty, yes.
I love what you said, Karen, like as the, you know, if we are in certainty, we are in limits, and the uncertainty is actually we're taking the limits away. But it's
unlimited
scary.
potential.
It's scary for most of us or for the majority who, if we don't know what that, you know, can't deal with that. And I mean, there is scary ideas out there being projected into our lives, sure, but then I was in a beautiful sweat lodge ceremony the other day in Native American tradition, with beautiful bringing hot stones from the earth and old alchemy of all the elements coming together, and just simply sitting in there in prayer, basically. And the beautiful man who led the sweat lodge was like, okay, this is an opportunity to pray, and I give you one advice: pray as if there were no limits, because there are none. It's like, this is so profound and deep, and it's like, what does that really mean? How can I actually deal with that space of unlimited possibilities? And then for us, prayer is conversation with life. It's really being in conversation with life, with ourselves, with our soul, with all of creation. And if that's new for any of you listening, it's simply also something we can practice and bring into our life. And very beautiful. We work a lot with that, and our music is often a reflection of that. So coming into that. And then when we feel taken over by fears in certain moment, and I get it myself, you know, here and there when life's hitting me hard in these times or those times, some of my days where I don't feel as open to the limitlessness, just move for us, it's move, breathe, make sound. Coming back to being, you expressed it beautifully just before, being in a way that reestablish our self-connection. For us, it's to move in some way. It doesn't have to be anything big. Can be going for a walk, just shaking,
move the energy,
breathing deeply, connecting with our sympathetic nervous system. And sound is even can be just sighing or some simple sounds, or putting some music on, or if you're musical yourself, singing. But you don't even have to be musical for singing. Just sing and make sound. That all works. Yeah.
You know what I love about your concerts is everyone is singing. It's not just about coming to watch you singing. Like, everyone is singing. It is just so cool. There is just like this chorus of communion and sound when we come together for your shows.
Definitely.
I miss them. I haven't been for a while. COVID. Anyway, they'll be back. I'll have to get online with you guys.
Indeed.
We might come back down soon.
So how would you like to end this? I'm thinking it'd be lovely to sort of do some sort of maybe guided meditation, or do you want to sing a song, or what would you like to do? Okay, so you're going to sing a song off the latest album, Horizon.
Yeah.
What's this song called?
Rainbow Light. And it's a reflection of the magic in life. The rainbow holding all the different colors of light, the different colors, the different ways of expression in life. It's the magic, the creation. Sings of the butterfly. Rainbow light, butterflies. I just had to think. Angel wings. It's the transformation. It's angel wings. It's us as messengers of peace.
Beautiful.
Each and every one of us letting these angel wings grow. And
in that as well as that, it's also a message that this embodiment, this way of feeling is actually a choice, and that it's always there, and it's a choice to return to. And regardless of the fear, the sorrow, the rage, the sadness, there's always that we can return to this pure essence, this rainbow light space.
Beautiful.
When I breathe into my heart, I breathe into the heart of all beings. I accept all that I am. Embrace all of creation. This love inside is real. Learning how to feel. Each moment is a gift. To blossom like a flower. Rainbow light, butterflies, angel wings, taking flight. Rainbow light, butterflies, angel wings are taking flight tonight. into my heart. I breathe into the heart of all beings. I accept all that I am. Embrace all of creation. This love inside is free. Learning how to feel. We're learning how to heal. Each moment is a gift to blossom like a flower. Rainbow light, butterflies, angel wings, taking flight. Rainbow light, butterflies, angel wings are taking flight
Oh my God, I'm in tears. That is so beautiful. Thank you so much.
And thanks for having us. Thanks for your trust and your love, and everyone that's listening. Keep walking forth with your heart wide open. Keep singing the song that you wish to be and see in the world.
You guys are just awesome. I love you. I love you. I love you. I'm just gonna go and cry now. I'm just like so touched.
Loving you.
Thank
Mwah,
you.
mwah, 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 mwah.
The beautiful Lulu and Mischka. How divine was that? Oh, I loved that. I loved that. You know, I know Lulu and Mischka, and I have done for 8 years, but I don't think I've sort of really sat down like I have today and really explored their journey and their stories like I had today. So yeah, just like you, I got to learn more about them and to hear their story. And we were chatting afterwards after I turned off the recording, and they said to me, you know, what about your awakening journey? So I gave them a really brief thing. I said, you know, my questions were born from pain. We discussed in there that, you know, in the third dimension, creation happens from experiencing contrast. You give birth to desire. So I see mum sick and dying, and so I'm giving birth to desire. Like, why do people get sick, and how can we heal, and where do you go when you die? And I want to know this place. So questions born from pain. And then Mischka was saying that he saw his father transform, and he thought, oh, you know, this is looking good. You know, desire born from not contrast, which is more of a fifth dimensional way of creating, is when we see what we want because it's happening in another. And this is why I do the shows. You know, I present people that do amazing things so that you can see and hear other people's journeys, and you don't have to go through your own pain to give birth to desire. And then you can say, I want that. You know, that looks good. And this is what happened to me. I did a massage course. My flatmate had bought it and she couldn't do it because she had to work on the weekend. And she said, please, can you do it? You don't have to pay me, because I wasn't interested in doing it. I said, no, I don't want to do it. She said, please, please. So I saw this couple that were teaching massage, and they said they'd been in the corporate world and they were struggling and, you know, on the corporate ladder and everything. And life was just like too stressful. And then they gave all that up and started teaching massage, did a massage course and started teaching people how to massage, and they were so happy. They were so happy. They were making less money. Their lifestyle was less, busy and less luxury and all that sort of stuff that we think we need. But they were so happy. And I'm thinking, well, these people know something about life that I should listen to. They're doing what they love, and they're not striving to be successful and crawl up the corporate ladder and be, you know, famous and successful. So I took a leaf out of their book and signed up for a naturopathy course, 5 years full-time study, because I saw these people studying healing and massage. And and I massaged for a long time. That was a big part of my bread and butter when I was younger. So it's interesting, desire born through pain or desire born through seeing other people enjoy their life and live into light and love, and then saying, this looks good, maybe I could do that. So 2 ways that we can create. We can create through pain and give birth to desire, or we can create through seeing other people joyful and happy and thinking, I want some of that. So this is why I present the shows. I'm hoping that you see the people on the shows and you think, yeah, these people are doing amazing things. Maybe I can do that too. And you don't have to go through so much pain to wake you up to living life on purpose and living life in joy and connected to your soul's purpose and the love within. Wasn't that beautiful? I love that. I'm not going to talk too much longer. A few more people coming up on the show before the end of the year. I'm going to have a few weeks off, and probably I'm going to write some courses for next year on deliberate creation, put out some courses next year. And I'm starting to book people in for next year for the show. I just booked someone in this morning, amazing. I saw her on Gaia TV, and she has an amazing story, a galactic story. So that's exciting. So exciting people booking in for next year for the show already. And the Inner Sanctum. As I said, I've got the beautiful Zoe Pennant coming on next weekend, who is in the UK, who has 3 beings show up in her living room, 3 I don't know what you would call them, that ET beings or spiritual beings, or anyway, that channel through her and Annette, her friend Annette, but she's going to come on and share her wisdom with us. So I hope you enjoy that. Remember to go to Lulu and Mischka's website and download their beautiful music. If you are in Australia, up near the Northern Rivers or not too far away, well, you can't do their retreat because they're already booked out in December. I guess through COVID, you're only allowed limited numbers, but definitely share their music far and wide because it's absolutely beautiful. It was so moving when they were singing. I was bawling my eyes out, just moved. And she said to me, why are you crying? And I said, I just always cry when I hear beauty these days. I don't cry at sadness anymore. I fell up the stairs the other day and I was in so much pain I wanted to vomit, but I didn't cry. But when someone says something beautiful or I hear beautiful music, I'm bawling like a baby. I guess it's just energy moving, just being moved, and remembering the call of home. I think it is. It's just remembering that call of home. Love you all. Thank you so much for watching, and just you're the best. My audience are the best. You send me the best emails. You're really making a difference in this world, and I just want to honor you all for doing that. And remember to buy the book Awakened by Death if you haven't. A lot of stories in there, awakening born from pain, but amazing stories. Love you all. Bye for now.